Did you know that Marilyn Monroe, the Queen of Hollywood, captivated the world with her charm, yet faced deep struggles behind her smile? From Jean Harlow's early stardom to the tragic end of Sharon Tate's bright career, here are 40 Golden Age actresses who died too young. 1. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was the Queen of Hollywood, known for her incredible charm and roles in movies like Some Like It Hot. But behind her bright smile was a life full of heartbreak and inner battles. Her death at age 36 due to a substance incident is still surrounded by questions. Was it truly an accident, or was there more hidden beneath the surface? Before we delve into this, it becomes clear that the truth is far more unsettling than anyone could have imagined. 2. Jean Harlow. Hollywood's first blonde bombshell, Jean Harlow had beauty and talent that few could match. She starred in classic films like Hell's Angels and Red Dust, captivating audiences with her presence. But her life was filled with personal struggles, and at just 26, she died from kidney failure. Her sudden passing left her fans devastated and remains a reminder of how fleeting stardom can be. 3. Peg Entwistle. Peg Entwistle is remembered as the Hollywood sign girl. After her role was largely cut from the film 13 Women, she found herself at her breaking point. She climbed up the H on the Hollywoodland sign and took her own life. Her story, filled with so much sadness, has become a symbol of broken Hollywood dreams. 4. Sharon Tate. Sharon Tate, an actress and model, made a name for herself with roles in Valley of the Dolls and The Wrecking Crew. She was just 26 when her life was taken in a brutal attack by followers of Charles Manson. Her tragic death is one of Hollywood's darkest moments, leaving the world shocked and mourning for what could have been. 5. Carole Lombard. Carole Lombard, known for her comedic talent in films like My Man Godfrey, had a sparkling career and an even brighter personality. But her life was cut short at age 33 when she died in a plane crash while returning from a rally to support the troops during the war. She was a patriot, a star, and her death left an empty space in Hollywood. 6. Veronica Lake. Veronica Lake was famous for her peekaboo hairstyle and her roles in films like Sullivan's Travels. But her fame faded as she struggled with mental health and alcohol addiction. She died at 50, her later years marked by poverty and being forgotten. Her story is one of talent lost too soon to the darker side of fame. 7. Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge broke barriers as one of Hollywood's first African-American leading ladies, earning acclaim for her role in Carmen Jones. Despite her talent, she faced racial prejudice and constant financial struggles. At 42, she died, likely from a substance incident, leaving behind a legacy that mixed triumph and tragedy. 8. Jayne Mansfield. Jayne Mansfield was known for her bold personality, her platinum blonde hair, and her role as a Hollywood icon. But at 34, her life ended in a horrible car accident. She left behind 5 children, one of whom would later become actress Mariska Hargitay. The crash shocked the world, ending the life of a true star. 9. Linda Darnell. Linda Darnell's beauty lit up the screen in the 1940s with roles in films like Forever Amber. She tragically died at 41 in a house fire while trying to save others. Her courage was evident in her final moments, but her death cut short a career that still had so much potential. 10. Judy Tyler. Judy Tyler's big break came when she starred with Elvis Presley in Jailhouse Rock, but just days after filming ended, she was eliminated in a car crash at 24. Her sudden death was a devastating loss for Presley and for Hollywood, ending a promising career before it truly began. 11. Barbara Payton. Barbara Payton's career started off with promise, appearing in films like Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye. But her life spiraled into scandal, addiction, and trouble. She died at 39 from liver and heart failure. Her story is a tragic reminder of the pitfalls that fame can bring. 12. Frances Farmer. Frances Farmer was an actress known for her beauty and bold attitude. Her career was filled with challenges, especially her battles with mental health and the controversial treatments she faced. She died at 56, leaving behind a story of talent overshadowed by personal battles. 13. Virginia Rapp. Virginia Rapp was a silent film actress whose name is forever tied to scandal. She died at just 26 after an alleged assault at a party thrown by Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. The scandal that followed cast a long shadow over her short career, forever tying her to tragedy. 14. Mabel Normand. Mabel Normand was a comedic talent of the silent film era, starring alongside icons like Charlie Chaplin and Roscoe Arbuckle. But her career was haunted by scandal and her health was poor. She died at 37, her life ending too soon after years of struggle. 15. Barbara Lamar. Barbara Lamar was known as the girl who is too beautiful. Her beauty drew attention, but her addiction to morphine and alcohol led to her early death at 29. Her whirlwind life of romance and heartbreak mirrored the drama of her film roles, leaving a lasting mark on Hollywood. 16. Susan Peters. Susan Peters earned an Academy Award nomination for her role in Random Harvest, but her life changed after a hunting accident left her paralyzed. She struggled to rebuild her career and died at 31 from complications of malnutrition. Her story is a reminder of the challenges many actors face behind the scenes. 17. Thelma Todd. Thelma Todd was known for her comedic talent in films like Monkey Business. She was found dead in her car at 29, and her death remains mysterious. Was it accidental carbon monoxide poisoning or something far more sinister? Her life and death remain one of Hollywood's haunting questions. 18. Lupe Velez. Lupe Velez, known as the Mexican Spitfire, lit up the screen with her fiery personality. After a turbulent love life, she took her own life at 36. Her death was surrounded by rumors, adding to her legend, and showed just how high a personal cost Hollywood can demand. 19. Carol Landis. Carol Landis, known for roles in Four Jills in a Jeep, captivated audiences with her charm. After a heartbreaking end to her relationship with Rex Harrison, she ended her own life at 29. Her death was another sad reminder of the struggles faced by actresses under Hollywood's spotlight. 20. Lynn Baggett. Lynn Baggett was known for her beauty and her roles in films like The Flame and The Arrow. She struggled with depression and addiction, dying at 37 from a barbiturate overdose. Her untimely death reflects the darker side of Hollywood fame, where so many dreams crumble. 21. Leah Deputy. Leah Deputy came from Hungary, bringing her intense beauty and dramatic presence to silent films such as The Sorrows of Satan. She was known for her sultry performances that captivated viewers in a way few could manage. Unfortunately, her life ended tragically at just 34 years old due to complications from pneumonia following surgery. She had lived a brief but intense career, giving her heart to the screen until the very end. Her sudden passing left a void in the world of silent film, and the question lingers: was her bright spark destined to fade so soon? Or could she have continued to enchant audiences if not for her untimely death? Leah's career was marked by a powerful combination of talent and determination. She moved to Berlin at a young age, seeking the limelight, and it wasn't long before her striking looks caught the attention of filmmakers. In the German film industry, Leah found a place where she could showcase her emotional range, and her passionate performances earned her a dedicated following. Despite her success in Europe, Leah set her sights on Hollywood, a place that promised endless opportunities. However, breaking into the American film industry was not as easy as she had hoped. Hollywood, already filled with rising stars, offered only limited opportunities for foreign actresses. Leah managed to secure a few roles that showed her potential, but she struggled to attain the same level of fame she had experienced in Europe. She faced constant competition, and the pressure to maintain her status took a toll on her health. Her final years were marred by illness, and the pneumonia that ultimately claimed her life was a devastating blow. It seemed cruel that someone so vibrant, so full of life, could be brought down so quickly. Leah's legacy, though brief, is one of immense passion and a fierce dedication to her craft. She was a true artist who gave everything to her work, and her performances remain a testament to her talent. The bright spark she brought to the screen may have faded too soon, but her memory lives on in the films that captured her essence. 22. Florence Lawrence. Florence Lawrence is often remembered as the original movie star, the very first to be publicly named. Nicknamed the Biograph Girl, she appeared in countless silent films and became one of the first actresses to attain true fame. But fame brought with it a heavy toll. After years of illness and financial trouble, she took her own life at 52. This tragic decision ended the story of a woman who had been both a pioneer and a victim of early Hollywood's unforgiving nature. Florence was more than just an actress. She was a trailblazer who helped shape the movie industry during its infancy. Born in Canada, she began acting in her early teens, and her natural talent soon led her to the forefront of the film world. During an era when actors were often anonymous, Florence became a household name thanks to her work with the Biograph Company. Audiences loved her, and her face was instantly recognizable. However, this newfound fame came at a price. The pressures of being the first took a heavy toll on Florence, who found herself constantly under scrutiny. Her personal life became a topic of public discussion, and the demands of fame began to weigh heavily on her. Financial difficulties only added to her struggles. Despite her contributions to the film industry, Florence faced significant financial setbacks later in life. She invested in various ventures that ultimately failed, leaving her in dire financial straits. The once glamorous life she had known was now overshadowed by mounting debts and health problems. Florence's health began to decline, and she faced chronic pain that made everyday life a struggle. The bright lights of Hollywood had dimmed, and the once beloved star found herself alone, battling both physical and emotional pain. Her decision to end her own life was a heartbreaking conclusion to a story that had begun with so much promise. Florence Lawrence's legacy, however, cannot be forgotten. She was a pioneer in every sense of the word, breaking barriers for actresses and paving the way for those who would follow. Her story is a reminder of the sacrifices made by those who paved the path to stardom, often at great personal cost. 23. Gwilly Andre. Gwilly Andre, originally from Denmark, carried an ethereal beauty that seemed to promise Hollywood greatness. However, she struggled to find lasting success in the film industry. Her frustration deepened over the years as the roles she desired slipped further from her reach. At age 50, her life ended tragically in a house fire, leaving behind a career filled with heartbreak and unfulfilled dreams. Was it her ambition that doomed her, or just the cold nature of Hollywood's cruel machine? Gwilly arrived in Hollywood with high hopes and the kind of striking looks that turned heads wherever she went. She was tall, elegant, and had an air of mystery that made her stand out in a crowd. Hollywood seemed ready for her, and she quickly secured roles that showcased her beauty. However, beneath the surface, Gwilly yearned for more than just glamorous roles. She wanted to be taken seriously as an actress. The part she was given rarely allowed her to show her depth, and she found herself trapped in a cycle of roles that relied solely on her appearance. The more she struggled to break free of this mold, the more frustrated she became. Hollywood's demands were relentless, and it soon became clear that Gwilly's aspirations were at odds with the industry's vision for her. As the years passed, the opportunities that had once seemed endless began to dwindle. Gwilly's career never reached the heights she had dreamed of, and her disillusionment grew. She became increasingly withdrawn, and her once vibrant spirit began to fade. 24. Mona Rico. Mona Rico, born in Mexico, found herself constantly battling racial stereotypes throughout her career. Her time in Hollywood was brief, marked by small roles and persistent challenges that blocked her way forward. As her film opportunities dwindled, she stepped away from the screen, eventually passing away at 69. Though her Hollywood story was short-lived, her name still echoes as a reminder of how the system treated women of color. Mona's journey to Hollywood was one filled with hope and ambition. She left her homeland to pursue a career in an industry that held the promise of fame and fortune. However, upon arriving in Hollywood, Mona quickly discovered that the path to success was not as straightforward as she had imagined. The roles available to her were limited, often relying on outdated stereotypes that offered little depth or dignity. Despite her talent, Mona found herself typecast, unable to break free from the narrow roles Hollywood assigned to her. Her frustration grew as she watched her peers, many of whom were less talented, receive opportunities that were never afforded to her. Mona's potential was evident to those who knew her, but Hollywood's rigid system left her with few options. She fought against the stereotypes, determined to show her true capabilities, but the barriers proved insurmountable. Eventually, Mona made the difficult decision to leave the industry altogether, recognizing that her dreams of stardom would never be realized in Hollywood. 25. Gertrude Olmsted. In the roaring 1920s, Gertrude Olmsted was a beloved figure in silent cinema, her expressive eyes and captivating smile enchanting audiences. But when silent films made way for the talkies, Gertrude found herself pushed to the sidelines. She lived until she was 77, yet her later years were a quiet retreat from the bright spotlight. The silver screen had forgotten her, leaving her with a life spent in the shadows of past fame. Gertrude's career began at a time when the film industry was undergoing significant changes. The silent era was in full swing, and Gertrude's natural talent for expression made her a perfect fit for the medium. She appeared in numerous films, her performances winning her the admiration of audiences and critics alike. However, the arrival of sound films brought about a seismic shift in Hollywood, and many silent film stars found themselves struggling to adapt. Gertrude was among those who struggled with the transition. The talkies required a different set of skills, and her voice, though pleasant, did not match the expectations of the new era. As opportunities dwindled, Gertrude made the decision to step away from the film industry. She had experienced the highs of fame, but now faced the reality of a career that had reached its end. Unlike some of her peers, Gertrude did not fight against the changing tides. Instead, she chose to live a quiet life away from the spotlight. She married and focused on her family, finding fulfillment in a world far removed from the glamour of Hollywood. 26. Marie Prévost. Marie Prévost was a Canadian beauty who brought vivacity to films such as The Godless Girl and Paid. But Hollywood's relentless pressures took a toll on her mental health. Struggling with depression and alcohol, Marie died alone at 38, a victim of the darker side of fame. Her story stands as a somber reminder that behind the glamour, many suffered in silence, their cries unheard by a distracted world. Marie began her career as a member of the Bathing Beauties, a group of actresses known for their roles in comedy shorts produced by Mack Sennett. Her comedic timing and lively personality quickly made her a favorite among audiences, and she soon transitioned to more substantial roles in feature films. Marie's talent was undeniable, and she seemed poised for a long and successful career. However, the pressures of Hollywood began to take their toll. The constant need to maintain her image, combined with the demands of the film industry, left Marie feeling overwhelmed. As the years passed, Marie found it increasingly difficult to secure the kinds of roles that had once come easily. The arrival of sound films brought new challenges, and Marie struggled to adapt to the changing landscape. Her career began to decline, and with it, her mental health suffered. She turned to alcohol as a means of coping with the pressures and the disappointments that seemed to pile up one after another. The once vibrant actress was now a shadow of her former self, her laughter replaced by a deep sense of sadness. 27. Alma Rubens. Alma Rubens had the promise of greatness, her talent shining in silent films like The Half-Breed. But her life took a dark turn when substance addiction took hold. Her career unraveled and her health quickly deteriorated. Alma passed away at 33 due to pneumonia, worsened by her addictions. Once a shining star, she was ultimately consumed by a battle she couldn't win. Journey to Hollywood began with a desire to escape the ordinary. She wanted more than the life that had been laid out for her, and the film industry offered an opportunity to break free from the constraints of her upbringing. Her beauty and talent quickly caught the attention of filmmakers, and she soon found herself starring in major productions. Alma's performances were filled with emotion, her ability to convey complex feelings making her a favorite among audiences. She seemed destined for greatness, but behind the scenes, Alma was struggling. The demands of fame, combined with personal insecurities, led Alma down a dark path. She began using substances as a way to cope with the pressures of her career and the expectations placed upon her. What started as a means of escape quickly spiraled into a full-blown addiction that began to consume her life. Alma's once promising career started to falter. Her reliability called into question as her addiction took hold. The roles that had once been hers were now going to others, and her star began to fade. 28. Kathleen Williams. Kathleen Williams was one of Hollywood's first female action stars, famous for her role in The Spoilers. However, a car accident left her facing health issues that forced her into retirement. She lived until 81, but her final years were far removed from the excitement of her on-screen days. Career filled with daring performances slowly faded, her legacy overshadowed by the more glamorous stars who came after. 29. Adrienne Ames. Adrienne Ames radiated elegance in films like The Death Kiss, her sophisticated demeanor leaving a lasting impression. However, when the era of silent films ended, so did her prominence in Hollywood. She died young at 39, losing her battle with cancer. Adrienne's graceful performances were a testament to her talent, but the pressures and changes in Hollywood eventually overshadowed her bright spirit. 30. Helen Twelvetrees. Helen Twelvetrees starred in early sound films such as The Cat Creeps, showcasing her versatility as an actress. Despite her success, she faced personal demons that haunted her career, struggles with depression and substance abuse. She passed away at 49, much of her life spent battling shadows that dimmed her light. The pain behind her eyes was often visible, revealing the deeper wounds carried beneath her on-screen smiles. 31. Luana Walters. Luana Walters made a name for herself in B-movies, but she faced the heavy burden of being typecast. The roles she craved eluded her, leaving her career unfulfilled. She died at 51, her frustrations etched into the legacy of a life spent striving for a place she could never quite secure in Hollywood's elite circle. Her story reflects the many performers who gave everything but received too little in return. 32. Jane Frazee. Jane Frazee delighted audiences as a musical star in the 1940s, but the spotlight quickly shifted. Unable to transition beyond light entertainment, her career slowly faded, and she passed away at 67. Her life in Hollywood serves as a reminder that fame can be fleeting. One day you're center stage, and the next you're just another forgotten name in an endless list. 33. Linda Christian. Linda Christian became famous as the very first Bond girl in Casino Royale from 1954. Though her career sparkled briefly, she eventually drifted away from Hollywood. She lived until 87, her later years spent far from the limelight. Her glamorous beginnings and quiet ending illustrate just how unpredictable the paths of fame can be. 34. Rita Johnson. Rita Johnson's talent shone brightly in films like The Big Clock until an accident in 1943 derailed her career. From that moment, her life became a series of health struggles. She passed away at 52, her life forever altered by that fateful event. Rita's story serves as a stark reminder that success in Hollywood can be as fragile as glass, shattered by a single unforeseen moment. 35. Susan Cabot. Susan Cabot took on many roles that captured the eerie and the troubled, starring in films like The Wasp Woman. Her personal life, however, was far darker than her on-screen characters. She died under tragic circumstances, eliminated by her son at the age of 59. Her legacy remains as haunting as the roles she played, each marked by a sense of sadness that now feels prophetic. 36. Phyllis Haver. Phyllis Haver dazzled audiences with her portrayal of Roxy Hart in Chicago. Her life, though, was marred by a failed marriage and financial troubles, leading her to take her own life at 60. The vibrant, confident Roxy was far different from the woman Phyllis became, a tragic end to a life once filled with promise. 37. Barbara Bates. Barbara Bates is best known for her role in All About Eve, where she showcased her potential as a rising star. Sadly, mental health issues took hold, and she ended her own life at 43. Her promising career was heartbreakingly short-lived, a reminder of how deeply personal battles can overshadow professional triumphs. 38. Dorothy Dell. Dorothy Dell was a talented actress and singer who found success with films like Little Miss Marker. Yet her career was cut tragically short at just 19 years old when she died in a car accident. She was a bright talent extinguished far too soon, leaving behind a what if, a glimpse of potential that could never be fully realized. 39. Gloria Dixon. Gloria Dixon gained attention for her role in They Won't Forget, but her career came to a tragic end when she died in a house fire at 28. Gloria's charm and promise left a lasting impact on fans who were left mourning the loss of a young life and talent. She became one of Hollywood's many what could have beens, forever cherished and yet never fully realized. 40. Margaret Sullivan. Margaret Sullivan delivered emotional, unforgettable performances in films like The Shop Around the Corner. Yet her struggles with depression and hearing issues wore her down over time. She passed away at 50, leaving behind a legacy of heartfelt, moving performances that touched many. Her story, filled with so much emotion, reminds us that even those who bring joy to millions may themselves be in deep pain.